Super simply, all an IP address is it's a unique number that is given to a piece of technology so that it could communicate on a network. So again, very simply, any device connected to a network that uses internet for communication has an IP address. Even websites have an IP address. So does a wireless printer. So does my laptop. So does my phone. Even a lot of the Bluetooth devices around you have an IP address. An IP address is just a unique set of numbers that a piece of technology uses to communicate on a network. That's it. Think of an IP address as a phone number. If I want to send a text to my girlfriend, I need her number. If I want to call my best friend, I need his number. And they need my number in order to interact back and forth. Think of that in networking terms as an IP address. So, where can you find your IP address? Well, there's a couple of ways to do so. The easiest way, my preferred way, is you go on whatismyipaddress.com, and it's not just going to tell you the IPv4 and the IPv6 address. It's also going to show you your ISP, which is your internet service provider, the city you're in, the state you're in, and I'm going to back up. IPv4, IPv6, all that is Internet Protocol version 4 and Internet Protocol version 6. This is important if we're discussing IP addresses because sometimes there's two. Why? Well, IPv4 or Internet Protocol version 4 is an old system of IP addresses that we're still using now and will be using for a long time to come, in my opinion. But we're running out of how many unique addresses on IPv4 there are, and so a more lankier and complex version is the system for IP addresses called IPv6, which eventually the whole internet will transition to. But it's going to be a long process because a lot of technology, routers, modems, they go ahead and they use IP4, so you can't just say, okay, next year we're all switching to IPv6. However, it's a slow transition. During our lifetime, we will for sure just be using IPv6, in my humble opinion. And the last thing I want to mention is that there's two types of IP addresses. There's static and there's dynamic. Static are the ones that do not change. It's given to a computer or you input it yourself and it's static. It doesn't change. The more popular ones are the dynamic IP addresses, and those are assigned to you by a DHCP server. So hopefully I made it pretty easy for you to understand what an IP address is. Obviously, we only dived into the basics here, but it is a common topic in a lot of industry, from networking to web development to cybersecurity and beyond. You'll always hear of IP addresses. There's a couple of ways that you could find them on your devices, even your mobile device. You could look up what your IP address is, and it's something that as technology advances, you'll only be hearing more about IP address. So let me know in the comment section if you found it helpful and which type of tutorial you wish for me to cover next. I appreciate you all. Again, I'm not advertising anything, no NordVPNs, nothing like that. All I ask is that you subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comments which video you wish for me to cover next.